Hey guys, Paranormal Video Gamer here, and as you can see, my hair is still purple, so I'm still sporting that look. I'm gonna re-dye it, so it's gonna be a little darker purple coming up here in a couple weeks. But as you guys saw, probably in the headlines today, a lot of YouTubers are talking about this particular story, and I wanted to bring it up because 2 years ago I predicted what was going to happen. And at the end of this particular part of the video, I'm going to show the review that I did for Anthem, and I was very worried about BioWare and Electronic Arts at the time because the game looked like, as I said in my review, it looked like Armored Core and Titanfall 2, and it looked so similar that I was kind of like, I don't know. And then you play it, and it definitely feels like Armored Core and Titanfall 2. And I was a little bit concerned when I did my review. I had played the demo, or saw the demo. I remember playing it, but I think I played it probably about a week after the video that I did. And I was kind of disappointed in that particular demo that was released. And in my review, I stated that if this game of Anthem ends up being like Armored Core and Titanfall, it was going to fail, and it was going to fail hard, and it did. 2 years ago, I was correct. I got a lot of people telling me, especially there was several people that sent me messages on Twitter, that pretty much I was wrong. How could I judge a game before actually playing the full game? How dare I say it's a bad game when I've never played the game itself? And I just said, look, based on my experience with games like this, it looks bad. It looks really bad. I mean, when that game first launched, I remember getting messages from friends of mine who bought the game that I told them, don't buy the game. And they got mad at me because they're like, well, why didn't you, enforce it a little bit more? I just spent $60 on this game, and it's absolutely broken. And I'm like, dude, I told you. And they didn't want to listen. And the people that were sending me messages on Twitter were people that were pretty much defending the game and saying I was a horrible person for saying that it's a bad game, and I should shut my mouth because of the fact that it's not even a game that's been released yet, and I don't know what I'm talking about, and yada yada yada. And then there was one person, and this is funny. There was one person that told me that Anthem is not going to fail because it's going to show people like you that games like Anthem can succeed, and you're wrong. And the person called me a very nasty little name, and it was you could call it a little racist of a name, and I ignored it. I blocked the dude on Twitter, but still, I was just trying to protect people and let them see my perspective because I've been a gamer almost all of my life. I started at 6 years old playing games. I'm 41 now. So that tells you something, how long I've been gaming. I've been gaming for a very long time, and when I see something that reminds me of other games, that doesn't make me want to go buy that game. There are exceptions to the rule, though. Like, a lot of people don't like Cyberpunk 2077. I've bought a copy of Cyberpunk 2077 because I thought, you know what, I'll give it a chance. I saw the reviews, I talked to a bunch of people that said it's crap, it's got bugs, but at least with Cyberpunk 2077, you do get bugs, but the bugs that you get are kind of funny. I gotta admit, they are really funny bugs sometimes that I've gotten. Like, for example, I got into a car, and I was driving it was like a slope, a little bit of a slope in one part of the city, and I jumped over a railing and landed in a building. And then I fell through all the way through the ground. Meanwhile, my guy is saying, wow, this is a massive traffic jam or something to that effect. I laughed. I'm sorry. It was funny. Wish I would have recorded it because it would have been really funny to get that on tape. But at the time, I was just playing. I wasn't really thinking about recording anything. And games released broken usually do not do well. Anthem was one of those games that released completely broken, and Electronic Arts didn't care. They pushed BioWare to push it out the door, and look what happened. The game has literally been destroyed by Electronic Arts. They are not doing any more work on it. They're not updating it. They're not going to do anything to it. They're going to keep the servers on for a few people that play it, but the game is essentially dead. And there are a lot of games that have died over the last year. There's one game that I have in my collection that I absolutely loved, and I thought it was a great idea, something completely unique. And I was actually talking to the developer of the game for the longest time, just giving them ideas of what they could do in updates, because I know updates you have to do, with the game. You have to update everything. Well, I sent them a message back and forth probably about 100 times, maybe 200 times. Then all of a sudden, they stopped talking to me, and I thought, that's kind of weird. Then they made an announcement that the game servers were shutting down because it was too expensive to keep them up. And right now, the game is pretty much dead. You can't even play the game anymore. You pop it in your PS4, and it's completely dead. That's what's going to happen with Anthem. People are going to pop in the game disc, and it's going to be completely dead. It's not going to run. That's my biggest fear. And I hate when game makers do this because they make games that are online only, like Fallout 76. When the servers shut down, is there going to be a system in place to be able to play the game years after the servers are shut down? That's never been answered by Bethesda. And that's never been answered by EA, whether Anthem will be played offline in a future update. I hope so, because it would suck, because I do have an Anthem game. I went out and I bought it, and the reason I bought it is because I am a collector. I collect video games. That's what I do. Terrible games or not, I collect them. And I try to get unique games that I may not necessarily have liked, but I give them a chance, and I just have fun. I don't worry about collecting all the weapons and all the other crap that's in the game. I just go and I have fun, and that's what I do. I collect, and when you're a collector, you collect games. If it's cheap, you get it. I picked up Anthem literally. Literally. I picked up a copy of Anthem for $7. All right, and I didn't even spend, I think it was like total $7. I think it was like $5.99 at the store, and I think with tax it ended up being like $6.42 or something like that. So like $7 total I spent on Anthem. When that launched, that was a $60 game 2 years ago. And I was telling people, do not spend $60 on this game. It is going to fail. And people told me to shut up. Now look what's going on. Anthem has completely failed. I was correct in my assessment, and people, they didn't want to hear it. And now they're probably, going online telling their people, well, there's one guy that did tell me that it was going to fail, and I told him, no, it's not going to fail, and blah, blah, blah. Some people just don't understand. Again, from my experience, when I do a review honestly and faithfully, okay, for you, the viewer. I do it because I want you to understand where I'm coming from, okay? Being a gamer for as long as I've been a gamer, I want to give you that honest review of what my honest opinion is and what I see and what I don't see and what I like and what I don't like. And I get it. You may not like what I see and what I do and what I don't like and what I do like, and that's okay. The review is based off of my experience. Another game that I'm very worried about, and I will tell you, the whole franchise for me is in big, big trouble, and that's the Castlevania series. Konami is thinking about redoing the whole series from the first game all the way to the current one that was last released. And I'm going to tell you, the rumors I'm hearing with Konami redoing Symphony of the Night, that is concerning, because with what they've done with Metal Gear and Metal Gear Survive, and Metal Gear Survive is a bad game, not gonna lie. It is a bad game. I have it. I bought a copy of it. Again, it's one of those games I bought a copy really cheap, and I collect. And this is what we do. We collect. We buy games, we play them for a little bit, and we just have fun with them. Most collectors that I know that buy games, they buy a game, they play it, and then they have fun with it. They don't worry, like I said, about collecting all the trophies, about collecting all this, collecting all the weapons, like some people do. There are people online that will literally yell and scream and carry on that they can't get a certain gun because it's a certain event that they canceled because the servers went out. We don't worry about that. We collect games because we collect games. And I collect games because I'm a collector. And I've been a collector ever since I was 6 years old. I have a very impressive collection. It's growing every year. The really weird thing is, and yes, I'm wearing my PlayStation retro shirt because it's freaking awesome. The weird thing about being a gamer, especially now compared to back then, is all the DLC, and it's crazy how companies think that they can release DLC and fix a game after it's been launched and it's completely broken. Oh, we can fix that later. I don't think you can, especially with games today. You can't really fix every issue after the game has already been released. I mean, we're learning about that every single time a game gets released and it's a bad game. The other news I wanted to talk to you guys about that kind of made me think about a couple things. One of the games that I'm actually looking forward to, and I really do hope is going to be a really good game. There's a rumor going around that there's going to be a huge update with Resident Evil 8, The Village. And I know a lot of people are kind of like, this one lady that's really tall and everybody's freaking out because, she's a really tall lady and, she looks like a vampire, but she also looks normal. But apparently there's going to be a multiplayer aspect to the game. Now, I don't know if that rumor is true, but if it is, that actually might be kind of cool. Going into the setting of the next Resident Evil game and working with other people to go through it, or maybe even hunting other people that are going through it, like you get to be the vampires, that would be kind of cool, that one person is a vampire and the other people are hunters, and you have to go, like, the vampire can go through, do things to prevent him from getting seen or her from getting seen, and the rest of the people have to use their eyes and ears really to intensely listen to where the direction is. Again, I hope that's a true rumor. I don't know if it is. If it is, that'd be awesome. But that's what I think in terms of that. I think that was it. If I can think of anything else, I'll definitely do another video, but as it stands, Anthem is dead. It's done. It's in the water. And it's sad at the same time that, like I said, I warned people. And it sucks for the people that developed the game because they worked really hard, I'm sure, on that first interaction of the game. But then they got told, oh, no, you gotta rush it out, And, oh, yeah, that reminds me. Fallout 4. Bethesda's in deep crap because they're getting a lawsuit, a multi-lawsuit from a lot of gamers about the DLC that they released. They said if you bought, I remember this too. They said that if you bought the season pass of Fallout 4, you got all the DLC included. Everything would be included. They were going to update it and everything. And then they took all of the DLC that they were going to release, I think, and put it in the creative store. And a lot of stuff you actually had to buy extra. You actually had to pay credits in order to unlock more stuff that I think should have been DLC in the first place, like extra missions and all that kind of stuff. And people, they think that Bethesda, what they did was illegal. So now they're suing Bethesda for false advertising because it's DLC they released afterwards. And they pretty much, it's paid, you have to pay extra for that particular DLC when people bought the season pass and they thought it was going to be everything included. It didn't matter what it was. So that's going to be an interesting lawsuit to see, because I kind of agree with a lot of the people that are suing Bethesda that that particular creation club thing should have been included as the DLC. Also, any mods that should have been included. I think the paid DLC, creation club thing, I think that was a bad idea from the beginning with Bethesda. I understand it makes them a little bit extra money on every game, but when you're paying $60-$70 for a game, you should be getting your money's worth by getting extra stuff as it comes out. I think that a lot of game developers are more worried about getting as much money as they can. And I got to have a little bit of a stab at Warner Brothers and NetherRealm Studios, because with Mortal Kombat 11, I kind of feel like it's the same thing. People bought, like I bought the premium edition that said that you got all the premium features, and I assumed that that was also going to, be extra characters as well when they're released. Now, I know on mine it said you get the 6 characters for the money that you get, but I think what they should have done, I think they should have included all of the characters from Mortal Kombat in the future as well for the premium editions, because now you have to literally spend a lot more money. And, I have all the characters. I had to spend more money in order to get those characters. But, I mean, I still think it should have been, maybe a discount or something where, you bought a certain version of the game. You should have gotten a discount because you bought that premium edition. I think a lot of game companies need to do that. If you buy a premium edition, a deluxe edition, a legendary edition, whatever edition, it should automatically include a season pass that gets you all of the content, not just certain content and some of it's cut you have to pay us more for. I think that's bull crap. And I think I'm not alone on that aspect. I think, you spend a lot of money for that game to give them an opportunity, and they made a lot of money, and they didn't really spend a whole lot of money to make that game. Yes, they spent millions, but they get back $1 billion in revenue. That washes out the debt that they had to use in order to make that game. And I think that all DLC like that should be treated like that. You get it, you buy it, you buy a premium edition, whatever edition, you should get that DLC automatically. No questions asked, because you spent more money to make sure that you got everything in one shot. And you're not going to be penalized for additional fees. But that's just my thoughts and my opinion. I hope you guys found this video interesting. Let me know in the comments below. And it was good seeing you guys again. I will be doing a live stream here very soon. I've just been kind of busy with everything at work. Being an essential worker kind of sucks. And now that COVID's starting to slow down a little bit where I live, I'm going to get back into the rhythm of doing this. And I got a new episode of Game Ahead Radio. It's coming. I was going to release it a couple days ago, but unfortunately, the servers for the podcast server went offline on the day. Actually, it was a couple hours before my episode was supposed to premiere, and I just haven't had a chance to repost it. So I will get that done most likely tomorrow night, and you guys can listen to that on Game Ahead Radio. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see all of you soon. Boop, 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 boop. Anthem Zed.